Hi guys, this is our first Onshape activity, and it's this cube here that you can see. The cube is obviously 50 by 50 by 50 high, okay, 50 high, 50 wide, 50 deep, and it has this diameter 35 hole drilled all the way through it from front to back. We will also have these curved edges on it called fillets. I'll show you how to put them on, and we can also see that it's colored green. I'll show you how to do that as well. Okay, so over in Onshape, first thing, because it's our first activity, maybe we should just check before we start. And you go to my account, go to preferences on the left, and I'm just really concerned about this first one here, that your length unit is default to millimeters and 0.1 is enough decimal places. Then scroll down here to your mouse controls and make sure SolidWorks, not Onshape, is selected. So if you have to change to SolidWorks, make sure you click Save Mouse Controls. Now, getting back to the home screen, we click the Onshape button there, and I go Create, Document, and I'm going to call it Cube, and then your name. Okay, you put your first name, second name after it, and go Create, and our home screen will log up. Will appear now in a second. So here's our three planes here. I went over this in class, how to use the planes. Remember how we zoom in and out, and we put our mouse over the area we want to zoom in, and we roll the scroll wheel forward and back. If we want to recenter, if we ever get lost, we can't see, if we press the scroll wheel, the middle button, twice, like a button, it will, well, it should recenter it like that. And we can rotate our model by holding that same middle button down and just moving it from side to side like that. And you can see this little cube up here kind of turns with it. And also we can do this here where we can pan it from left to right. So to do that, we press down that middle button, but we also hold Control, CTRL on the keyboard. So Control, middle mouse button, we can move it from left to right. So that's zooming in and out, panning or moving left and right, rotating the model, and also refocusing to the center. Okay. Over here in this cube here, I'm going to be this little cube, I'm going to mention isometric quite a lot. That's our perfect three-dimensional view. Okay, first things first, we're going to turn off or switch off the front plane and the right plane. I don't need to see them, and I want to look straight down on top, perpendicular to the top plane. So if I just click top here, okay, so now I'm looking straight in. So we should always look straight in at the surface or the plane that you're drawing on. So what I'll do now is go to Sketch, and it's asking us to select the sketch plane. So I want to sketch on this plane here, so I have to select it. And you'll see now this bigger rectangle that says Sketch 1 is open. That tells me we're in sketch mode. Okay, that means I can do sketching. If you don't see that, it means you're not in sketch mode, and you can't, and you won't see any of these options here. Right, first thing what we're going to do is to sketch a center point rectangle. So we go to rectangle, but we go to the pull down menu and go to center point rectangle. And we put our mouse over the black dot here. This is called the origin. You can see it there. That's the origin. I click once. I'm not holding the mouse. I move out and I click anywhere a second time. I'm going to exaggerate my rectangle so it doesn't look like a square. I'm going to do that on purpose. So click, drag, click. Okay, you notice all the lines are blue. That's because they have no measurements on them. Now this button up here is called dimension. It's our double-ended arrow, basically measurements. So I'm going to click on that. And now you can see it's blue, which means it's active. And I just come down here and I click the top line, so I can either select the two endpoints of the line, or I can just click the line itself. So click, drag, click a second time and type 50 and press enter. Now you'll see two of the lines are gone black. That means that the width of it is set. So I can't, if I turn off my dimension command, I can't drag it inwards. I can drag it up and down because I haven't put a measurement on the vertical part of it yet, but I can't drag it left to right. So I'm going to put a measurement now on one of the sides, click, drag, click, and type 50. Okay, you'll notice that it's fully black. Try have your measurements nice and neat like that by dragging the numbers. If you want to change the number, let's say you didn't type in 50 by mistake, you just double click on the number and a little box opens up and I can change it to whatever size I want. So I want to leave it at 50 to 50. Now I'm happy enough to move on, so I'm going to hit this green tick. You'll see the little sketch box is closed. I'm going to move now to an isometric view so I can see it in 3D. Zoom out a wee bit there, and I'm going to turn off my top plane. I don't need to look at it anymore, so I'll hide it. Now we want to make it 3D, so I go to this option here. It's called extrude. Okay, and it's asking me what face or sketch region do you want to extrude. Well, I want to extrude this region here that I just drew, so I click that. And we're going to go, because it's a cube, it should be 50 by 50 by 50. So I replace 50 in the depth box. And that would be fine. We'd have a nice cube there if I just hit the green tick. But I want to use this one here called symmetric. So you'll see what it does. There's the sketch that I originally done in orange. Instead of going 50 up, it goes 25 up and 25 down. It extrudes or makes it 3D 25 millimeters either side. Now I'm after hitting escape by accident. So I'll try that again. So symmetric, 50, press enter, green tick. Okay, now I want to drill the hole out of it. So if I go back to the drawing, you can see it's a diameter 35 hole and it's dead center in the cube. And this is why I use that symmetric thing, because I want to take advantage of the origin point, the black dot. So you'll see it here. Now if I go to a front view, so I'm going to look in here and I want to sketch. There's that black dot. That's going to be the center of my circle. Okay, so I want to go sketch, select the sketch plane. I want to sketch on that face there. Okay, now what I want to sketch is a circle, and I go to the center, click, drag, click any size, and then I go to my measurement command and I go to the edge of the circle and I click it and drag and click and type 35. Okay, I'm going to do that step one more time for you. Let's say we're in the 3D view, so I can pre-select the surface I want to draw on. I look in from the front, right in at it, I go sketch, circle, click, drag, click, dimension, click, drag, click, and then 35. You'll see it's fully black, which means it has a full amount of measurements on it. It can't be moved. That's called fully defined when it's fully black. We always want our sketches to go fully black. Now we're going to go extrude again. I'm going to select the edge. It's asking us, what do you want to extrude? Well, I want to extrude the circle I just drew, but I don't want that. I want to remove material. So I click this little tab here called remove. And like I could type in 50 there and it would go through it fully out the back, which you can see there. But I want to use this option here. It's better. It's called through all. Now the reason I use through all is if I set that to 50, now I just want to see what my video is doing loads of time. So let's go. I'm going to go back here and just show you that we can go back and change some stuff. Okay, so I'm going to take it from through all to just normal blind. Blind just means goes straight in a direction. And I'm going to type 50. I already done that, green tick. Okay, now it looks like a perfect cube. It's after coming out the back. But what if I went back now to change my original sketch and change it to 75 by 75. Sorry, I'll do that again. 75 by 75. I have a much bigger cube. Well, I have a cuboid now. And the hole is still there, but you'll notice that the hole hasn't come out the far side because I would have to update this one to be 75. Okay, now I don't want to have to do that. I'd like it to come out the back regardless of what size the cube is. So if I just go back here and actually, do you know what I'll do? I'm going to hit this back arrow here. I'm going to cycle back through the steps. There we are. And I'm going to go to extrude here and make sure it's through all, green tick. So no matter what size, if I was to go back and change the size of the cube, it's always going to come out the back. Right, nearly there. The next thing I want to do is to use fillets. Fillets are rounded corners. Now I said, you can see them here in the diagram. Now I haven't said what size they are, but they're actually radius 5. Okay, so if I go back into Onshape, the radius is default set to 5. Okay, now I want to get all 12 edges. Now if I had to do that, click each individual edge. It's a bit awkward. It takes time. You have to rotate it around, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here they are all selected here. I'm just going to clear this selection. I'm going to show you a quicker way of doing it. If I, instead of clicking the 4 lines on top, if I just click the surface that them 4 lines are attached to, all 4 lines or any geometry on that surface will get filleted. Similarly, if I do it down here, now the problem with doing it down here is if I click this, it's going to fillet the circle as well, which I don't want. The edge of the circle is not rounded. So if I just click here, you can see I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to unclick it by selecting it again. So if I just click the top surface, the side surface, the other side surface, and the bottom surface, try that again, it actually has all the edges clicked. Okay, so just 4 clicks, top, side, other side, and bottom. Okay, green tick. Last thing I want to do is I want to give it a color. So I go to this button over here, it's called Appearances, and if I double click on part 1, hit the green tick there, or whatever color you want, I don't really care, and set it. Okay, now it's finished. I'm going to reset it back to a perfect isometric. I'm going to switch off the origin because I don't need to see it, And the last thing I'll do, actually, I'll just show you here. We're going to rename our sketches. Okay, we want to give them proper names. So this one here, right click on it, rename. I'm going to call that square. That's my square sketch. This one here, this was the cube body. So cube body. This sketch here was the circle. And this sketch here is the hole remove. Now I'm going to rename this one here cube body extrude. It's good to have the name of the 3D feature that you've used. So cube body extrude, hole remove, extrude remove, because we removed material rather than adding it on. Okay, and I'll just call this here, right click, body fillet. Okay, so that's all these named here. Now I'm ready to share it. So you're going to send it to me when you have it done. So click this blue share button here. In here we type T Bruton. Now it should come up automatically at delasal.ie. If it doesn't come up automatically, just type in my name there. Okay, type that in and it'll say add T Bruton at delasal.ie. Click add, because then it'll remember me for the future, and then you click share. Okay, so I can't obviously share it with myself because I'm the creator. And then once this pops up here that you've shared it in this region, just click close and you're done. So that's our first activity done. We've learned how to sketch a rectangle and a circle. Okay, by the way, you can go back and change all of these if you need to. Let's say I wanted to change that there to diameter 20. Watch this now. Green tick. It doesn't mean we have to delete it and start again. We can just go back and change each one and the whole model will update with it. Similarly, if I wanted to change the depth of the extrude to 100, so it's going to be a cuboid now, we can go back and change. We can always go back and change stuff. Okay, so we leave it there for today. Get that done and then send it to me, please, because you'll be marked on all the activities that you do. Okay, just make sure all your sketches are fully black, so the square and the circle is fully black. Okay, and before you send it, and we leave it there. Thanks guys.